If I were to ask you, what game am I thinking about that has craft in it? You most likely think of Warcraft or even StarCraft. But the astute will go with Idolcraft because that's what this review is about. If you guessed that, good for you. Here's a star! Idolcraft, true to its title unlike those other two, is a game that involves crafting idols. Actually, it's about finding girls and turning them into idols, but close enough. First impressions weren't good. Consider this game is considered a Basojo simulation, which I recognize in all my geeky gloriness as a dating sim type of game, which I despise most with a passion. Of course, Wikipedia is quick to correct me and tells me that a Basojo game is a game that has interactions with attractive anime girls. It's geared towards my male demographic, as we'd like to virtually interact with virtual anime girls and hope to see virtual boobs. Basojo games aside, this game was a pleasant surprise and I found myself actually liking it. Perhaps it's because it's not the usual RPG game I'm used to playing within the RPG Maker community, and the story doesn't involve a kid from a town rising up to kill off evil. Now, the story of Idolcraft involves you playing a college student named Hiroki, but he didn't change his name. Let's just call him Snake, just for the heck of it. So, Snake is a college student who is hardly making the grade no matter how hard he studies. Don't we all have that problem? But as fate always will have it, his uncle is going away on a vacation. Or is he? And he's leaving Snake in charge of his idol studio because we all know it's better to leave it in the hands of a college student with no experience in management and who's hardly getting the grade in college to be in charge of his idol studio over, say, his secretary/assistant. So there's a problem with the story, but let's just assume Snake's uncle is the nice guy and knows that his nephew is having some problems and needs a job. So let's just get into the actual game because that's what matters the most in these type of games, I think. So, as mentioned earlier, the point of this game is to find idols and train them in the idol ways. Singing and dancing for those that don't know. And that includes you, Aaron. And make sure they are the most popular idols in the world. Or just Japan. This part, unlike some of those other Basojo games, doesn't require you to level up Snake's abilities or attributes, such as looks, intellect, witty sarcasm, peanut, and other things, because they don't exist. Instead, all you need to do is talk to one of several certain select girls, and after a talk or two, or a few days, she'll be ripe for the picking to join your studio, and that's when you put the old girl to some work of training her to dance and sing better while giving her a place to stay, food, though no one eats apparently, paying for her training, paying for her CD or DVD to be produced, and paying for everything she needs. And with all that hard work, she'll become tired, and the best way to refresh her is let her go on a vacation, which ends up resulting in a well-drawn anime pic of her enjoying her day away from you, which you had to pay for because you are a good guy. Also, you have a limited amount of room in your studio, and these elements, depending on who you are, helps to add an element of replayability to the game because you can't have all of the available girls at one time in your studio. So, all of that might seem simple in theory, which it actually is. But being simple doesn't mean it can't be fun or addictive. Look at the Wii! The simple fact is, I found it hard after a while to quit playing this game, unlike even certain mainstream games out there. And I was wanting to find all the idols there were, add them to my studio, and make sure they were all on top of the popularity chart. A game that can keep your attention and can draw you into a game is a great game. However, there's one problem that took me out of the game in the later half of the game that screws up that theory. That is, the game comes off as allowing you to choose who you want to join your studio and several other non-linear choices. But in the later game, it takes that away from you. Not in choosing who will join your studio, but in the fact that Snake will only act in this morally, ethically correct way. In the later game, there's a chance that one or even all of your idols will be in love with you, which you might have done intentionally like I did. But, Snake likes to be morally right and won't date the girls. However, he has no problem giving them lingerie, which they're wearing for a particular reason, which seems to contradict that theory. And it brings up a very important question. Why did the developer allow there to be a romantic interest in the game and for you to build up a romantic interest if there's no point in it and you can't further it anyway? This is the point where I found myself being sucked out of the game, and that's not a good thing ever, and trying to find a way to get into a relationship with the green-haired tennis girl, but no, there's no option to go on a date with her because my guy has to be morally and ethically correct. That's not the only problem, but the rest are minor, such as people in the town walk too fast. Hey, come back here! And that days last as long as my relationships. As in short. Nonetheless, these complaints can't hold this game back from being a pretty good game. And the rest of the game, maps, music, sound effects, etc., are also good, even though some might get a little repetitive after a while, like most games. This is a game that I would recommend to those that are either open to all types of games or like these type of games. If you don't like these type of games, you should still try to play this game and see if it's that rare exception like it was for me. But obviously, this is going to be for everyone because of the Basojo game simulation thing that certain people aren't going to like. But anyways, Idolcraft gets 4 wannabe idols out of 5.
I'm your average.